welcome to another episode of Afro-Scientific Spirituality. My name still remains Efe West, reaching you live and direct from the heart of Africa. If this is your first time on this channel, this is the place where we separate the facts from the fiction, the science from the superstition, and the concept from the misconceptions about African spirituality. Today, I'll be doing a book review on the book titled Breaking the Mirror of Heaven and the Conspiracy to Suppress the Ancient Voice of Egypt. This is a book that is written by a renowned Egyptologist called Robert Bauval. He's a very pragmatic and enigmatic writer, and he's very popular and controversial. He's one of the Egyptologists among one of the people I would say are the best Egyptologists and most truthful in the world today. This is a man that have written so many great books, and he's a writer that don't just write for the fun of writing so that people can see his literary skills and appreciate them for literary appreciation. He writes books loaded with a lot of historical and scientific evidence to prove his points. So when you read the books of Robert Bauval, you're not just reading a mere book just for mental stimulation. What you're reading is actually an historical and scientific evidence backed up with a lot of proof. His books are things that you can actually present in a court of law as evidence, or you can present in an academic conference or gathering, and people can actually discuss and say, yes, this is a real work, academic work. This is not a work of fiction. That is how Robert Bauval writes his book. He's one of my favorite authors. In fact, he's one of my mentors. I hope to write like him some days. He's one of the people that actually motivated me to write my own book as well. So this is somebody that you should want to check out. He has written over 20 books already on Egyptology, ancient Egypt, modern Egypt, and mysteries. Very powerful books. Some of the books I will call their names here. He was the one that wrote The Soul of Ancient Egypt, The Cosmic Womb, Black Genesis, The Master Game, Secret Chamber and Secret Chambers Revisited, The Orion Mystery and the Orion Constellation Theory, Origin of the Sphinx, Imhotep the African Architect of the Cosmos, The Message of the Sphinx, the Vatican Heresy, and of course the Egypt Code, among others. He has written many books, featured so much in many interviews. He's a very interesting person, and he's one of the foremost Egyptologists we have on the earth today. In fact, he was the one that discovered the correlation between the Orion constellation, the stars we call the three wise men, and the three pyramids in Egypt. And he was the one that postulated that. He was the first person to bring that theory, which is now a fact. So he's somebody that really knows the history, the original history of ancient Egypt, and he writes it exactly the way it is. So he's not somebody that can be bought. If not, he would have been bought a long time ago by Western academicians, but he has refused to sell out, despite all what the modern day Western world is doing to hide the true history of Egypt, to paint it white. Robert Bauval has continued to stand out and say it the way it is. This book that I'm going to talk about today, the Breaking the Mirror of Heaven, is a very important book, because for many years now, in fact, ever since the modern day Western scholars took over Egypt from the Greeks, they have been doing everything within their power to hide and suppress the truth about Egypt, to change the narrative, to claim that the ancient Egyptians were white, to try to brainwash the whole world, especially the black people, to brainwash Africans that they have no connection with Egypt. When in truth that the original Egyptians were black Africans, and we Africans are all one people, and Egypt was our ancient capital in the ancient world. They have tried their best to hide this knowledge, and they are still doing it today, even despite the fact that we are in the age of information. The internet is out there. If not for the internet, many of the things we know today, we might not even know them. But times have changed, and the spirit of truth is now controlling things in the world today. But you still see funny write-ups and people, academicians, and people that call themselves great spiritualists, powerful magicians, occult masters and mistress, still trying to lie to cover up the truth of ancient Egypt, to try to paint it white as much as possible, despite all the evidence. One of the main reasons I decided to do a book review on this book is because of this very fact that we still see people every day coming out to challenge the origin of ancient Egypt. And we have seen the lies of the Western scholars, especially their secret societies, to hide this truth from the whole world. This book, Breaking the Mirror of Heaven, is the book that contains what really happened in Egypt, the details of how ancient Egypt was pillaged, was plundered, vandalized, and looted by Western empires, by the Greeks, by the Romans, by the Arabs, by even the ancient Egyptians themselves, and finally by the Freemasons. Yes, if you want to know the truth of what really happened, the details of how the step-by-step pillaging of Egypt, this is the book that contains all those information. So many people have asked, how did Egypt fail to this level? How did the Arab, the current people we see in Egypt today, they are not the real owners of Egypt. They are invaders, colonizers. The people occupying Egypt today, they are not the original Egyptians. It is the same with America. The people running things with America today, in America, are they from America? They are not from America, they are from Europe. The Native Americans, do we still see them in any place? This is the same thing that have happened to Africa. The original Africans have been chased out of Egypt due to constant attack and bombardment and different kind of problems by people that claim to be their friends, and this is the situation we see ourselves today. So Egypt, modern Egypt, is not the same as ancient Egypt. Okay? The people in Egypt today, they are not the ones that built any of those temples, they are not the ones that built the pyramids, the Sphinx. They don't even know how those things were built. They are just there occupying it, using it for making money from the tourist trade. If you want to know the details, you need to read this book, Breaking the Mirror of Heaven. It gives time, dates, places, who took what, when they took it, how they took it, where it is right now. So it's a document, a catalog of records of how things went down. It details the looting of the obelisks. We knew how the American Freemasons, they took one of the obelisks. It is currently standing in New York there. London took one, currently standing there. Spain took another obelisk. Theirs fell into the Mediterranean Sea. They lost that one. If not, we'll be having one in Spain today. And after the Freemasons the American and European Freemasons have looted whatever they can carry to their homeland. They now came together to have a meeting. The meeting was that now that we have taken all this great knowledge and all this stuff from Africa, are we going to tell the truth to people? Should we say the truth, or should we keep it as a secret? This very meeting led to a big fight within the Freemasons. At the end of the day, the fraction that said that no, we are going to hide this secret from them and we are going to brainwash them, that fraction won the day. That is why they decided to hide the secrets of the truth of Africa inside their secret societies. They believe that by brainwashing 2 or 3 generations of Africa into teaching them the lie about their history and origin, they are going to forget everything about who they are. So that is their agenda. That is why they have to make sure that they control the narrative, they control our educational system, they control our universities, and they push the Christian religion as much as possible to every part of Africa, every part of the world, to make sure that they totally brainwash the children of the ancient Egyptians, the children of ancient Africans, to totally forget who they are, to become like them. And they are almost succeeded, but they will fail. And they have failed. Apparently, people like me are talking about this very thing today. This is what they have been trying to do to hide from us. But yet, we have still discovered what they are trying to do. So today we come around, you go online, your everyday life, you read books, you see how they say they are doing restoration in Egypt. They are painting all the black statues, try to paint all of them as white as possible, and always try to present white images. We see this in Hollywood. Anytime they act in ancient Egyptian movies, they only use white characters, no black person. We see this in the 10 Commandments. We see this in so many of their books and magazines. We see this whitewashing of Egypt. We see the breaking of nose. Ancient Egyptians have broad nose like me. They always make sure that they break as much nose as possible so that you will not know. Even the Sphinx, they have to break the nose of the Sphinx because it's pure African. When you look at the statues, black people can see the image of their ancestors in those statues and begin to wake up. So they have to break all the nose and lie that they are trying to trap a soul or something. They know what they are doing. So my bone of contention is when I see people claiming to be great spiritualists, Western occultists online on YouTube, teaching all kind of spirituality, and they are also hiding this truth from the people they are teaching. This is why I know that many of them are practicing fake spirituality. The spirits most of these occultists claim to venerate, they are not the same spirits that we Africans are venerating. Because if you're venerating a spirit of truth, you will be pushed to say the truth and you will stand by the truth. So you cannot say, oh, we are venerating maybe the same Amira or the same, that you are lying against the spirits. You are hiding the truth of that spirit from going out to people. Me, you are not venerating that deity. You are an imposter. So this is one reason why people should be careful with the kind of spiritualists you go to for help. You should be very, very careful. Because many of these spiritualists out there claiming that they are masters, mistresses, many of them are just like they are maggots. They are imposters, vampires that are lying. They are there to hide the truth. They are there to hide you from achieving your fullest spiritual potential. They are there to create a simulation for you, to trap you inside that simulation so that they can control your every move, control how your spiritual growth. This is the same simulation spirituality have created, Christianity have created, Islam created, Judaism created. In the left-hand part community too, they also have spiritualists creating simulations upon simulations. I did a video about this simulacrum simulation, creating fake spiritual concepts that are not real, that are not original, and then trapping people inside those boxes in order to control the people for as long as possible. So that is why the truth need to come out. If you really want to practice real spirituality, it must be based on a foundation of truth. I have always emphasized this. You want to be a good spiritualist, you want to be strong in your practice. You need to know your roots. You need to know the root of this earth. You need to know the truth about your head, your world, your planet. So anybody that is hiding that truth from you, no matter the skin color of that person, it can be a black man, it can be a white man, a blue man, a red man, that person is your enemy. That is what you need to know. That is how I know I identify fake spiritualists. I don't need to throw oracle to know if you are telling. I just listen to you. As I listen to you, from the kind of words that are coming out of your mouth all the time, I can be able to gauge your level of spirituality. I can be able to see your aim, your purpose. You know why? Because I am connected directly to the root of this planet. I am connected to the spirituality based on truth of a very deep and solid foundation that cannot be broken. So when I see people that are connected like me, I will easily identify them, because likes identify likes. If I see people that are connected to a certain thing that is not on a very wrong foundation, I will also know exactly where you're coming from. So that is how you can easily identify people that are telling lies and people that are telling truth. You don't need to throw oracle, you don't need to meditate, you just watch them. So we see this kind of people out there every day, promising you these different stories of how to change your life, to make you, give you anything you want, just as long as you listen to them. That is their promise for you. You're going to sell packs, you're going to make packs with spirit, you're going to be rich, you're going to be wealthy, you're going to have, all those are lies. People that want to sell this don't even have that in their life. Life is not a bed of roses. Life you must work for everything you want. Real African spirituality is based on science, real science and technology. Somewhere along the way we have lost that part, and we need to go back. Any spirituality that is based on hocus pocus, that is only based on spell casting, root work, it will not really take you far in life. This is where most of our African spiritual practice have lost their way. But if you tell them this, they're going to get angry at you, that we are not focusing on the right things. We should focus on science and technology. Spells are good once in a while, but it will not take us so far to where we want to go. Okay? Calling on spirits to help you every single time you have a problem, it breeds laziness and immaturity. Okay, look at it this way. If you have, maybe you are a student, now you have exams to write, then you have somebody that is always giving you the answers, helping you to cheat. Instead of you actually studying to pass your exam, somebody is giving you the answers, maybe in the classroom, or maybe you have a spirit telling you what to write, and you just write it and you get a very good score. That student, do they really know anything? No, they don't really know anything, because they have cheated. They didn't really learn something for themselves. They cannot really reproduce that knowledge. Same thing is with you when you always rely on spirits to get anything you want from them. You are not actually living life to gain experience, to learn how to solve your problems by yourself. You will not be matured in life. You will not be able to become mature, to be in a place whereby you can actually teach people real things. That person will not really have any experience in life. You just be like a child forever. Okay? So, by encouraging people to go to spirits for every little thing, they have little problem, you go to meet them, that is not the right way to go. Okay? Spiritualists that are teaching that kind of thing is wrong. You as a human being, you need to learn how to solve your problems with your own mind, with your own capacity, your own spirituality. That is how you grow in life. Okay? That is why I don't focus on pushing people to spirits to solve. I'm not a spirit. I don't do spell work for anybody, because for me it doesn't make sense. If you want to do, I can show you how to do it. But maybe if I want to make money, I can deceive you or tell you this tell stories. Maybe people need to make money. I don't blame them. They need to survive. But real spirituality is in building your capacity. I have said it many times. Build your capacity. Learn how to solve life problems. You are here for a purpose. Learn how to grow. Impact your environment. That is how the ancient Egyptians were able to do the great things people are still marveling at till today. That is how the ancient Africans were able to do it. But this spirituality of calling demons for everything that people are pushing, calling spirits for everything, that means a lazy man approach. It's not the way it's supposed to go. I'm not saying we should not call on them. We should call on them when things are very, very critical, where we have tried all reasonable way to solve the problem. There is no other solution. We have tried to be diplomatic. We have tried to be reasonable. We have tried many things. We don't just know them. We ask for help. But not in the situation where by any little thing, you just rush, open a green wall, you just rush to your altar, rush to a spiritualist, any little problem. You will never grow in life. You will never achieve your aim in life. I don't believe any self-respecting spirits that have the good of humanity in their heart will like that kind of behavior. That's why you see when you're dealing with gods, you cannot approach them like this. They will tell you to solve your problem yourself because you need to grow. If I have a child that having problem like that, I will tell him to learn how to solve. I will not give him the answers to all the. If I really love that child, I will not give him the answers to all the tests. The child will not grow. I will let him struggle with the problem so he can learn from the experience, so he can be their own man or woman one day, and quickly will be better than those children that are spoiled brats. We know this. A experienced child is always better than a spoiled, arrogant brats, and that is what we are saying today. So you should need to know this. Don't be running to spirits for all your problems. Be a man, be a woman. Learn how to solve your problems with your mind, with the natural spirit that God gave you. Okay, that is how people grow. That is how people change reality and impact themselves upon this planet. So, a good knowledge, background knowledge of history, once again, will give you this mentality, this mindset that is needed for you to become matured spiritually and physically. And one day you're going to become an elder, you're going to become an ancestor, even a god that people will be calling in later in life. People will be calling, praying to you to come and intercede for them. Okay, I believe this is what we are here to do in this planet. So in my own practice, I don't really call spirit more. I don't invoke, I don't know when last I don't really do that, invoke spirits or disturb their life or for anything. Only spirits I talk to regularly, my ancestors. But for me to be chasing after spirits, it's not me. I solve most of my problems with common sense. As a magician, you are also a psychologist. You should also be a high level psychologist. You can be able to read people, understand events. You can be able to be very, very pragmatic and realistic individual. Okay? That is how people grow in this life, not by superstitions. The aim of this channel is to separate superstitions from science. Okay, I believe true spirituality have to be based on science. So we should review this focus and we should try to move in the right direction to move us forward. So this book, The Conspiracy to Suppress the Voice of Ancient Egypt, Breaking the Mirror of Heaven, is a very powerful book. If you want to know the details of how Egypt was plundered, everything is contained in this book. The time, the dates, how the Arabs came, how they took the tiles, ceramic coverings of the pyramids, the Great Pyramid, how they used it to build their mosques, how the Freemasons came, how they were looting, we were practically breaking temples and relocating them, taking things. The French came, they took what they can. The Spanish came, they took what they can. The British came. Everybody was just taking taking, and they are still taking till tomorrow. They are still discovering till tomorrow. This is what these people have done, and this is what they are doing. Upon all this, they still lie to people. Their aim is to lie, to make sure that people will not know the truth. But the truth is here with us today. So you need to read the book. The book is a real eye opener. It's a historical document, a document of evidence of magnanimous proportion, a document of that is very, very expository, a document that will prove so many blind people, ignorant people, that will prove them wrong. Those people that are claiming online and still arguing about the role of ancient Egypt, this book, they need it. For those people that are claiming the Freemasons, that are lying that Freemasons started in 1717 in an English tea house in London. Freemasons actually started in ancient Egypt. The Masons, the builders of the temples and the builders of their community, they are the real Freemasons. We have all their records, their deeds, their scrolls. We have those documents. For these Freemasons to come out today to be lying the Rosicrucians, part of the reason I left Rosicrucian was when I discovered this truth, that these people are actually hiding things from Africans and from the world. I see that there's no point for me being here. I don't need to be paying dues to a society to be an African. I am already an African. I don't need to be paying money every month every year to be learning the things of my ancestors. I already know them. And the thing that really made me really upset, instead of them to be directing people to the truth, to the deities directly, what they did was to create an egregor, whereby you have to be meditating to be focusing your energy to. It's just like they're just acting like a middleman. Instead of connecting directly to the source, they are connecting to their egregor. From the egregor, you now link you to the source. They're trying to micromanage your spirituality, filtering information and access you will have. So when I discovered this fact, instead of me using this middleman, I have to break out. I connect directly to the source. So the society, I will say, is still a good society. They have a lot of books. If you want to know reading, you want to read about ancient history, you want to be social, you want to know people around the world, you can join them. They are good for that. But if you really want to connect directly to the deities and to the ancient temples, you don't need them. You don't need anybody. You don't even need me. You can do that by yourself very, very easily and conveniently. Okay? So, the secret societies, Freemasonry, that is the very bad secret society, because their sole aim is to hide ancient African history and world domination. And they know this very fact for themselves. I see many black people in this society today. Maybe some of them know about the soul agenda. Some of them may not know. Some of them will just be happy to be there. But it's not for somebody like me. But it's a society, nonetheless. We have Rosicrucian. We have Skulls and Bones like Templars. All of these are in Nigeria. They are in Africa, every part of the world. The Vatican. All these societies, the Shriners, their sole aim is to suppress this knowledge, this truth about Africa from the African people, to brainwash the mind of the world. When you begin to see the world and in the eyes of other people, you have totally reduced your expectations, reduced your capacity to function as a complete human being in this life, and you have actually placed yourself in a box whereby you cannot be able to escape from that kind of mindset. And that is exactly what they are doing today. So What is left for you to do is to break yourself from that mindset. You need to know the truth about what really happened in ancient Egypt, who took what, when they took it, why they took it, and why they decide to hide this knowledge from you and me. So this is the book that contains this very story, the details of this very situation, breaking the mirror of heaven, the conspiracy to suppress the voice of ancient Egypt. A very, very powerful book. This book is free to download on some websites. You can get it on Scribe, on Amazon. It's very popular. Just type it on the internet. You see there's a book. It's a must-read book for everybody that want to know the truth about Africa. I want to know the truth about these secret societies, who they are, what they do. So it's a very powerful book. I believe I'm the only person that have actually did a book review on this. Western media is not going to talk about this book. CNN, Al Jazeera, BBC, they will never talk about such a book like this because their sole aim is to hide this kind of thing from people. But there you have it for people that want to know. Okay, so this is what I have for you today. Questions and comments are welcome, and as usual, please like and share this video, subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell so you can get updates to my latest videos. And I wish you a very wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Take care and bye.